Ladies and gentlemen, you have to stop for a second and ask yourself one question. Why am I really doing this? Because if the answer is to impress someone else, to prove someone wrong, to get approval, then you're building your life on a foundation that's going to crumble. I'm telling you from experience, there is a massive difference between chasing a goal because it lights you up and chasing one because you want someone else to notice. One builds you, the other drains you. Every single day we make choices. Some are small. What to eat, when to sleep, what to wear. Others are massive. What career to pursue, whether to stay in that relationship, whether to take that risk. But if you're not aware of the reason behind your choices, you'll end up living a life that belongs to everybody else except you. That's why understanding your why is not just a nice idea, it's everything. It's the engine, it's the fuel, it's the compass. Let me be clear, doing things for approval is a habit and it's a deeply ingrained one. We're taught from a young age to make others happy, get the gold star, make your parents proud, keep the peace, be liked. And slowly you start living for the outside world. You start shaping your behavior based on reactions. You post something online and you're immediately checking the likes. You take a job because it looks successful. You stay in a situation because it makes sense to everyone else, even if it makes zero sense to you. And that's where people lose themselves. When you understand your own why, you stop reacting and start leading. You start living intentionally. You wake up and you're not looking around for someone to clap for you. You're doing it because it means something to you. And that's where true motivation comes from. Not from someone else telling you you're great, but from you knowing you're on the right track, even when no one's watching, even when it's hard, even when no one claps. Let me give it to you straight. External validation is addictive. That little rush of praise, that pat on the back, it feels good for a second. But the problem is, when you start relying on it, you'll always need more of it to feel okay. And guess what? It's not always going to be there. People get distracted. People are inconsistent. People will forget to notice. You're setting yourself up to feel invisible. That's why the strongest thing you can do is shift your motivation inward. Do it for you. This doesn't mean you become selfish. This means you become clear. It means your energy goes toward things that matter to you. It means you're grounded in your values, and that's how you make decisions. You're not chasing approval anymore. You're chasing alignment. And that's where peace lives. That's where confidence starts to build. That's when you start to really grow, because you're not faking it anymore. You're not performing, you're living. I'll tell you something else. Life gets a whole lot simpler when you stop trying to impress everyone. When you get quiet, get honest, and ask, what do I want? What makes me proud? Not your parents, not your friends, not your followers, you. That question is where everything shifts. That question is what puts you back in the driver's seat. And the answer? It might take time to find. That's okay. Just keep asking. Keep peeling back the layers. Keep getting real with yourself. And when you find that why, your true why, you hold on to it like your life depends on it. Because in a way it does. It's what will carry you through the days when you don't feel like showing up. It's what will remind you why you started. It's what will help you tune out the noise, block the pressure, and stay focused on what really matters. So if you're chasing something right now, pause. Ask yourself, am I doing this for me or for them? And if the answer isn't you, then it's time to realign. Because the most powerful, grounded, successful version of you, they do it for themselves. They know their why, and they don't need a round of applause to keep moving. They just need the truth, and that truth starts with you. The fastest way to lose sight of your own potential is to get caught in the comparison trap. You know exactly what I'm talking about. You scroll through social media, you see someone's perfect morning routine, their highlight reel of success, their flawless body, their amazing relationship, their new house, and suddenly, without even realizing it, your own life feels smaller, less impressive, less worthy. That's the trap. You measure your own value by what someone else is doing, and in doing that, you shrink. Here's what no one tells you. Comparison is natural, but it's also dangerous when it's unchecked. Our brains are wired to look around and gather information. It's how we learn. But the problem is, in today's world, the information never stops. You're constantly bombarded with other people's curated lives. You're exposed to everyone's best moments, and you start forgetting that what you're seeing isn't real. It's filtered, it's posed, it's edited, and when you hold your real life up to someone else's edited one, of course you're going to feel behind. But feeling behind is an illusion. You're not behind. You're on your own timeline. You're in your own chapter. And the sooner you realize that, the more peace you're going to feel. Because here's the truth. No amount of comparing yourself to someone else is going to bring you closer to your purpose. In fact, it does the opposite. It pulls you away from your own voice, your own path, your own growth. When you're focused on what they have, you stop appreciating what you have. You stop noticing your progress, you downplay your wins, you start to think, why bother? I'm not where they are. But that's the wrong question. The right question is, am I further than I was yesterday? That's how you measure progress. That's how you grow. Not by checking where someone else is, but by checking in with yourself. Comparison kills creativity, it kills confidence, it kills joy. You want to know why so many people feel stuck even when they're doing all the right things? Because they're not doing those things for themselves. They're doing it to keep up, to compete, to impress. And that is exhausting. That is unsustainable. You were not born to copy someone else's journey. You were born to create your own. The irony is, the more you focus on your own growth, the less you care about what anyone else is doing. You don't need to compete when you're aligned. You don't need to prove anything when you're proud of how far you've come. That's the shift. That's the power of focusing inward instead of outward. Because when you stop comparing, you start owning your journey. You start seeing your strengths. You start building from where you are, not from where someone else is. Think about it. How much time have you already wasted scrolling, watching, comparing, and doubting yourself? What if you use that same time to build something real, to invest in yourself, to move your life forward one step at a time? What if instead of asking, why don't I have what they have, you asked, what can I do today that moves me closer to my vision? That's the mindset shift that changes everything. You don't need to be the best. You need to be better than you were yesterday. That's the real competition. Not with her, not with him, not with them, just with you. Stay in your lane. Stay on your path. Cheer for others, sure, but don't use their success as a reason to doubt your own. Here's the truth. The only person you're responsible for becoming is the person you were meant to be. Not a copy, not a version that fits in, not someone who wins the approval of strangers. Just you. Fully, unapologetically, authentically you. That's your power. That's your edge. That's what makes you unstoppable. So the next time you catch yourself comparing, take a breath. Bring your focus back. Remind yourself that their path has nothing to do with your purpose. And then get back to work on yourself for yourself. Because that's where the magic happens. When you stop watching and start building. When you stop doubting and start believing. When you stop trying to be them and finally start being you. There's something powerful that happens when you start investing in yourself. Not just spending money on things that make you feel good for a moment, but truly investing in your growth, your mindset, your skills, and your healing. That kind of investment, it changes everything. It changes how you see yourself, how you make decisions, how you handle challenges, and how you show up in the world. Because when you start prioritizing you, you stop waiting for someone else to do it for you. Most people don't realize this, but you are your most valuable asset. Not your job, not your relationships, not your possessions. You. Your mind, your habits, your energy, your health, your confidence. Everything else is built on that foundation, and if you don't take the time to build it strong, everything around it starts to wobble. You want a successful career? Start with your discipline. You want a healthy relationship? Start with your self-worth. You want peace of mind? Start by learning how to manage your thoughts. It all comes back to you. The reason why so many people feel stuck is because they're waiting for something external to shift, a break, a person, an opportunity. But the truth is, the shift has to happen inside first. You can get the opportunity, but if you're not ready for it, if your mindset isn't strong, if your habits aren't in place, if your confidence isn't there, you'll sabotage it. That's why investing in yourself is the key. It prepares you for the moments you've been praying for. It turns potential into progress. Let's break it down. Investing in yourself means doing the work that most people avoid. It means waking up early to study, train, or reflect, even when no one's watching. It means choosing to read a book instead of mindlessly scrolling. It means setting boundaries, having tough conversations, and walking away from things that drain you. It means going to therapy, learning emotional intelligence, understanding your triggers and breaking cycles. It means learning new skills, asking questions, being a beginner again, and not letting pride get in the way of progress. It's not always glamorous, but it is transformational. And let's be honest, it's easier to spend money on temporary fixes, new clothes, new tech, another vacation, and sure, those things can bring joy, but if you're doing that to avoid the real work, if you're numbing instead of growing, you're just putting a fresh coat of paint on a cracked foundation. Real investment is uncomfortable. It forces you to face yourself, but that's where the growth is. That's where you level up. What happens when you invest in yourself is that you start trusting yourself more. You start showing up with more certainty. You stop looking for validation because you've already validated your own worth by the way you treat yourself. That's what builds real confidence, not empty affirmations, not fake positivity, but action, ownership, discipline. You start to think differently, and that leads to living differently. You also begin to attract differently because when you elevate your standards internally and externally, you stop settling. You stop chasing people who don't see your value. You stop saying yes to things that don't align with your purpose. You stop tolerating environments that drain your energy. And guess what? That opens space for better things to come in, better relationships, better opportunities, better results.